LoloCreates. My name is Lauren. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to do a DIY back to school video. I normally do DIYs, craft videos, bullet journal videos. So click the subscribe button down below as well as the notification bell. You'll never miss out on any of those types of videos. Today we're going to take some boring old notebooks from the store that were really cheap and turn them into some really pretty and cute notebooks that look like you spent a lot of money. And one of them is actually Urban Outfitters inspired, and it was originally like $40. So stick around if you want that. And without further ado, let's roll the DIYs. Take a paintbrush, black paint, and paint the notebook. Let it dry. Then take a small paintbrush and white paint and start painting on gemstones. Try to paint different shapes and sizes of gems. You can also use a thin white paint marker to do this if it's easier. Once you get to the middle of the notebook, grab a permanent white marker or a thin paintbrush to write Pure Brilliance on it. All of the gems could have been drawn with this if I wanted, but I didn't have a lot of ink left in my pen, so I just painted them on instead. Continue painting the gems on the notebook. Once the white paint dries, you can take some colors and put it on the gemstones, just in little places on them. Cover up some of the white parts, fill in some of the shapes. Start by painting your notebook white. This one is cute, but I got it a while ago and it's not my style anymore. Once it's dry, start sponging your gradient. You can use whatever colors you want, but I chose blues, some teal-y seafoam greens, and green. Don't worry if the paint won't blend at first. My first coat looked like stripes, and definitely not a fading gradient. It wasn't what I was looking for, so I went back in and blended the colors. It's a lot easier once you put down the first coat to blend. While that dries, you can cut masking tape strips 2 inches long and 1/2 inch wide for the next part of this DIY. Start placing them in a herringbone pattern. I recommend hanging the first strip off the notebook. Then take the second strip and line up the long edge with the end of the first strip's short edge, like shown here. Leave a gap between the tape. Continue lining up the long edge with the other tape's short edge until you fill the section. To start on another section, just find a short or long edge and fill it in with the opposite side. Continue filling up the rest of the notebook. Sometimes you may have a strip that is too thick or too thin for the area you want it to fit in, so you can just remove it and put a different one in and use the other strip in a different area. Now sponge on a coat of white paint. Dab instead of wiping to keep the paint from seeping under the tape. Make sure it's completely dry before you move on. And then the fun part comes along and you can peel the tape. It is easier to peel off the tape around the edges, but it isn't impossible to take off the tape in the center. It just takes a little more effort. Start by opening a Word or Pages document or whatever word processor you want. Change the font to American Typewriter, 20-point font, justified text, and the margins as small as possible. Start typing letters in all caps with spaces. Make sure the letters go on to the next line. It should carry over quite a bit. Now this looks fine when there's spaces, but it looks kind of crowded and it doesn't really look like a crossword puzzle like we want it to look like. So what you're going to do is you're going to make it spaced out. And in order to do this, you need to go to the 20th character on the first line. It just seems like that is where it is able to space out the best, and you can start adding spaces. And this will allow the letters to fill up the whole entire space. So here I am showing you that it actually spaces it out. Then fill up the whole space and change one of the parts to have the title of your class. So I'm showing you math. I'm changing some of the characters. I printed it out on cardstock, then I took a marker and circled the name of the class. Make sure you cut it to size, and then you can add Mod Podge on the notebook and just put your paper on. Don't put any Mod Podge on the top. You'll want to spray it with a sealer, otherwise it will smear the ink. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, comment down below, and check out my Instagram and Twitter as well as my other videos. Bye guys, see you next time.